Since I did my life lessons at 45 video, y'all have showed me so much love that I decided to go on TikTok and find some people that are actually in their 20s, their late 20s, and their 30s, and then even a guy that's 65 to give you some more advice if you're in your 20s.
Y'all want to know what people never speak about? Nobody ever talks about how hard life is in your 20s. Some of us are in college. Some of us are working a 9 to 5 trying to figure out what we want to go to college for. Some of us are even wondering if we should or should not go to college. Because at this point in life, we don't know if it's really worth it or not. Some of us got kids. Some of us are in debt. Some of us stay with our parents still. And some of us got our own house with our own bills. But whatever the case may be, if you a young adult in your 20s and you grinding hard and you don't know what's going to happen next in your life, I salute you because I'm in the same boat. I get up every day hustling and grinding, praying that God reveals my purpose one day soon. Listen, y'all, we gonna make it. We all gonna make it to the top. Stay focused and keep grinding, y'all. Do not give up. I promise y'all. Stay focused.
3 things I wish I knew in my early 20s. Be celibate. I'm not saying be celibate for the rest of your life, but at some point in your 20s, it is extremely beneficial to practice some sort of celibacy. You do not know your dating standards until you know how to abstain from sex. I wish the version of me that has been celibate for a long time would just hug the version of me that thought that that was supposed to be a part of my everyday life. I'm not even attracted to the same type of people. And red flags start looking real red once you learn to actually go without intimacy. Number 2, babe. If you spent a third of the time that you spend getting to know other people on getting to know yourself, you would be so much further in life. That is actually a sub to myself. A lot of us have dated longer than we've ever really been single. And your brain chemistry is so much different when you're constantly focused on a relationship rather than focused on loving you. And until you allow yourself to be single for a while, your brain is going to get so used to absorbing other people's lives, it's going to start neglecting itself. I didn't realize until I allowed myself to be single for 3 years that I was dating the same type of people over and over again. That actually stemmed from my childhood. I was dating people that filled a void within me. And that void was abandonment and self-hate. But you won't know that until you allow yourself to live in solitude. And speaking of solitude, number 3, every person in their 20s needs to live alone at least once. I probably said this before, and I will say it again and again and again and again and again. It is a necessary process, a necessary chapter in your life that you need to embark on. It's called living alone. I cannot describe to you the feeling because you have to witness it on your own. Maybe when I tell you I was naked for a month, butterball, ass out. I try to describe to people that have never lived on their own all the time what it felt like to pick up my keys, to decorate my own apartment, to cook for me only. For some people, we already have children, so it's too late to live on your own. But I'm telling you, if you can help it, please allow yourself that moment of solitude because you are going to love it. I guarantee you. Follow me because you know I'm right.
It took me 4 years to learn what I'm about to teach you in the next minute and a half. It is never too late to reinvent yourself. You can decide that everything you have done up until this point in your life is irrelevant. You can choose today, right now, to start a completely new book because your past does not have to equal your future unless you choose to live there. For years, I thought the identity that I was creating in the early stages of my 20s was going to be the identity I was going to have for the rest of my life. And it just doesn't have to be that way. I heard this quote from Tony Robbins and it has just completely shaken my world. He says, the biggest conflict that humans experience on a daily basis is the need to remain consistent with how they choose to identify themselves. And that need to remain consistent is usually what forces people to stay stuck in how they've always been. There's just so much peace and beauty in knowing that just because you did something one way for a long period of time doesn't mean you have to keep doing it that way. You don't have to just manage your day-to-day, manage your circumstances. You can actually be the creator of your own life. And when that really clicked for me, I started to get excited about living again. The Sunday scary started to go away. I just got really excited about the future and I want you to know that the same thing can happen for you. I'm telling you, if you're feeling stuck in your life right now, do something differently. Change something, make a power move. You deserve a life on your terms. You deserve a life that you're freaking obsessed with.
Hey, if you're in your early 20s, I just want to tell you something. I'm emotional right now. I'm 35 and I just found my journal entries from when I was 22 and 23. And I was so sad. I'm getting emotional about it. I was so sad. Like, here's an excerpt. I just want to make things and stop feeling frustrated a lot and feel more okay in my skin, more able to comprehend, more understanding of my role on this vast earth, make more things and maybe sell them. And it goes on and on. It's just me feeling so out of place. I had almost forgotten how tortured I was at that age. And I'm saying this just because I want you to know, if you're there, if you're in your early 20s or any age, and you're feeling tormented and tortured and frustrated and don't know which way is up, that it gets better, that it can get better, that it does get better. I promise you, I'm here standing in my 30s loving it. Just don't give up. I hope this helps one person today.
You're in your late 20s, get your shit together, go to the gym, take care of yourself, because what you do now will depict your physical health for the rest of your life.
One bit of advice I'd say to every boy in the early 20s, if I could go back in time, focus on the gym and focus on business only. Do not chase women. I would say start focusing on relationship late in your later 20s. It's not even worth your time. Honestly, it really isn't. I did learn life lessons from that girl that I was with, but if I could go back in time right now, I do things so differently.
I spent my 20s, like, don't get me wrong, I worked, but I wasn't building anything.
Yeah.
I worked and I was living paycheck to paycheck, living a good life, but I wasn't building anything for the future. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, my 20s are for that. 30s to 40s will be the right time to kind of find all of that. However, it's wrong. I think you got to spend your 20s. If you sacrifice your 20s, that decade, don't get me wrong, life's all about balance. Got to have fun, do all of course.
Have your lads' holidays. They're very important as well.
That's
very important.
Good for the mind and soul, and that's how you grow as well. However, I think you do need to sacrifice in your 20s. Get yourself ready for your 30s, because trust me, time goes by, click of a finger.
Do you know what as well, boys? Learn a skill, like an actual skill that you can transfer into making yourself money.
A skill that's going to be still relevant in 10 years, because a lot of the things happening right now with AI and the way the world is evolving, a lot of people are going to be out of jobs in the next fucking 10 to 20 years. 100%. The world's changing quick.
It's just on my heart to say this. If you are young, like you're in college, 18 to 22, in that stage, try everything. Anything you want to do, try it. If you don't know what you want to do in life, just go wherever your interests take you. If that's 10 things, try all 10 things. Trust me, you're going to start narrowing things down as you start to learn what things are about. Take a class, join a club at your school if there is one. Start a club at your school if it's really important to you. Ask somebody who's doing that, Try any way you can to get your foot in the door, because the more you do that, the more you will learn about yourself, and then the more you'll have a clearer picture of what you want to do by the time you get out of college, and the more selective you will be able to be in your job search instead of just having to take just any job, when you get out of college. Be intentional about your life, and this is like for everything, especially with your friend group or who you date. It's not working out with your boyfriend or girlfriend, break up with them. Don't do that thing where you've just been with them for X amount of years, X amount of months, so you're going to stay together. No. Same thing with friends. If you find that your friend group is not who you want, they're not compatible with you, they're rude to you, they're catty to you, there's an obvious queen bee or whatever, like there's a dynamic that you don't like, fuck it. Leave them. Do not be scared to be alone. You will make new friends. If you're in college, especially, this is true, because this is the last time that you will be in a building with mostly people your age who are in the same place in life as you. Ditch that shit. Don't do that thing where you think that you're stuck in situations. You are never as stuck as you think you are, especially when you're that young and at that stage in your life. You could literally be one person today and you could be one person tomorrow. Literally, you could be one person today and another person within 5 minutes. That was then, this is now. To the extent that you can, you want to be selective and you want to handpick your life. You don't want to just kind of be a log that's adrift at sea. You don't want to just be blowing wherever the wind takes you. You want to be the captain of the ship. You want to be in the driver's seat. Because a life where you're not in the driver's seat is a life that you're going to resent. And when you resent your life, you become depressed and you end up not even having the energy to change your life. Now, life is life. There are always some curveballs it'll throw at you. There are some things that just get handed to you that you don't pick and choose. But the extent that you can, pick and choose. Try your best to be on a path instead of just making temporary moves to get through the day. At the end of the day, you want to be able to look at your life and say, this is a life that I designed. If you do that thing where you take any old job, any old partner, any old friends, your life will be miserable. Desperation is the path to misery. Believe that. And whatever you do, no matter how stressful your life gets, please try to never let go of your passion. Please try to never let go of the stuff you love that makes you you. That's what's going to get you through the hard times. If you let that go, you will become a shell of yourself. And you'll wonder where the hell the years went and why it's been years or months since you last done the things that you love. And if you're in a toxic job and you're in ages 18 to 22, quit that shit. I'm telling you, a toxic job will drain your energy like nothing else. That's energy that you could be using to find a better job. You're young. At that age, no one gives a damn about your employment history. I'm telling you. Now, once you get out of college, it's a different ballgame, or hell, out of, the typical college age. But use your youth to your advantage. Quit. Do not stay in a toxic job and allow them to abuse you. Unless you're in a position where you have a baby, you have, rent and bills, whatever, you're completely financially supporting yourself. That's different for you. But if you're lucky enough to be living in the dorms or living with your parents or having financial support in some way, do not unnecessarily put yourself through any bullshit at work. You got the rest of your life to do that. And always be meeting new people. Best friends today can be enemies tomorrow. It's always good to be constantly in the process of developing new relationships. Plus, it builds your network, which is something that you're really going to need when you enter the workforce, if you haven't already. Because sadly, in this world, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and who knows you.
How old are you?
I'm 65.
What would you tell your 20-year-old self today?
Oh man, God, I have so much to tell him. I'd be like, dude, don't do drugs, don't drink, don't waste weekends, do not chase women, get around some people that are playing at another level, and get great at one thing.
And what is that one thing you would excel at?
Whatever I'm in, whatever it is you're doing, you're cutting lawns, fucking be the best, bro. Doing toilets, be the best. Waiting tables, learn everything about the restaurant business. Whatever it is you're doing, you got to get Tom Brady great. Or in my case, Grant Cardone great. Because my career will last longer than Tom Brady's.
And you make more money.
Probably make a little more money too, and Tom's done extremely well. That's my advice for my 20-year-old self. And he probably wouldn't hear me. He probably wouldn't listen to me, knucklehead like this guy with the phone.
I really hope you enjoyed that TikTok compilation. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.